I was listening to WXTN AM 1000. We broadcast from WAGR 1025 FM. And we absolutely um, are so happy. Hey, Miss Donella. Kenzie, how you doing? Happy New Year to you, too. Miss Beatrice, Happy New Year to you. Um, I'm so happy that you guys met me here today. I'm so happy. I have a goal that I have set for this year with Straight Talk. Not gonna tell you what it is. It is my goal, and so by this time next year, if the Lord says so, we are asking that this goal be met. In the meantime, my friends, I sincerely love you and I appreciate you, especially those of us who have been with us before we even became a part of Facebook, before we became a part of Instagram or any of that, when we were just on radio. You followed me. I thank you so very much for joining us. Let me say this. So many of you asked me this question before the holidays. You asked me this question. Actually, before Thanksgiving. And it had to do with Miss Zepp. It had to do with this question. And if you all don't live in our community, maybe you wouldn't know all that is going on in our community. Maybe you don't. But we always have something going on because we tend to live back in the day. You know what I mean? We just tend to live back in the day when black folk just had to stay back. And so last year, the last 2 or 3 years, we said no to that attitude. We, the citizens, said no, absolutely no. Actually, we said no, hell no, that we are no longer going to live like this. And so we started to complain. As a result, the United States Department of Justice actually came to Lexington, Mississippi. And man, did they find a continued disregard for the law, for the disregard for the Constitution in the highest levels of government. And if you didn't know it, and I'm sure that everybody in our community, every person does know it. And as a result, DOJ finished the investigation, found horrendous findings of what they found when they were here. And they were here maybe 2-3 years. In fact, if you want to know the truth, they are still here in Mississippi, although they have finished with our investigation. Thusly, our city government was handed them our city government was handed the findings. This is what we have found wrong with the administration of Lexington, Mississippi. And the former administration under Mayor Robin McCrory ignored the findings and ignored the recommendations that DOJ had given. They just simply did a Donald Trump. And that is, I don't believe in the law. And they ignored it. And so this year, we elected a new administration, and under the leadership of Dr. Percy Washington. Dr. Washington is beloved in our community. He's a historian. He is a public school teacher and administrator. He's beloved. He ran for the new mayor, and he assured us that the very first thing that he would do once he became mayor was that he was going to deal with the findings, and he was going to deal with the recommendations, and he would get that put aside, done with, so we can move on to become the greatest little city in the state of Mississippi. Well, as of today, the 2nd of hey Marla, Happy New Year to you. Marla, do I have my hair on straight? Anyway, we got our new mayor, and our new mayor simply decided that he would not keep his word to us. When the matter did not come up in June, which is the first meeting of his new administration, it did not come up. We kept asking him, when are you going to bring this up so that we can get this behind us and go on to do what we need to do to make Lexington the greatest little city Mississippi had to offer. Well, he didn't do it. And when the issue was brought up by Alderman Tyrone Lindsay of District 1, that we need to deal with it, the recommendation with our new attorney, we need to deal with it. And do you know our new mayor voted it down. Voted it down. This is the preacher man who assured us that just because the former mayor said no, it would be the very first thing that he would do. And when he had a chance to do that, he, with his own vote, voted it down that we do not accept the findings and the recommendations of the Department of Justice. It broke our hearts. Let me tell you, it broke my heart because I campaigned for him. I let him have my mic while he was campaigning and telling us all that he was going to do. I gave him my mic to say, no charge, to say, use it. Tell us what it is you want us to believe about you. So I tell you, it broke my heart. In the meantime, as a result of his actions, or let me say his non-actions, a boycott. And this is what is going on now in Lexington. This is the question that you have been asking Ms. Zepp for the past couple of months, month and a half. Ms. Zepp, why are we boycotting only 2 stores in Lexington? You've asked me that. I simply didn't have time to go into that because we were in the midst of the holiday season. And you know what holiday means to Zelpha Lamar. You know what that means. And so I want to address that right now so that you will know. And as we thought, we didn't think that Lexington as a whole would not, we didn't think you were going to honor the boycott. At least I did. There were only 2 stores that would be named in the boycott. One was the one grocery store that we have, and one, I think, is Dollar General, one of the $5 or $6 stores that we have, that only those 2 stores would be targeted. And but it worked in that it made some people nervous just to hear the word boycott. It made some people nervous. It is being sponsored by the same people that helped us to get DOJ here. And so the idea is that if you are ignoring us, the people, then we will keep our $3 in our pockets, and that we will just eat milk and bread over the holidays. We will not support you if you don't support us, Lexington. That's the idea. That Lexington, Mississippi, Holmes County, cannot exist if black folk Don't shop with them. They simply cannot exist. And back in the 60s, we proved that because the civil rights era of that time, of the 60s, closed Lexington down, because Lexington says we ain't gonna have no little black kids. And you know they didn't say black kids. We ain't gonna have no little N-word kids going to school with our little white kids. That's what they said. It didn't matter what the law just passed said. They said no. They said there will be no integration. There will be no voter education. There'll be no voting, just nothing. You Negroes go to the back door. That's what Lexington said back in the 60s. We said nothing else. We didn't march anymore. We didn't complain anymore. We didn't cry anymore. We just said, yes, sir, Mr. Sir. We organized our communities, of which there are 5 or 6 communities. We organized community by community. And we said, not a black person in Holmes County, Mississippi, shall buy a peanut butter cookie until Lexington and Holmes County acknowledged black folk as voters, to acknowledge that if we wanted to go to school, you couldn't stop us. It can't be because little black kids cannot sit next to little white kids. So we boycotted them. And Lexington, our county seat, was literally closed down. I'm not talking about something I heard. I was 14, 15, 16 years old. I worked in the movement with my parents, so I already know no one. And we thought that we would say to this same Lexington, Mississippi, that if you will not accept the fact that you have done badly, you have done badly continuously. I mean, you just didn't do it just now. You've been doing it. And we want you to, let me say this, it didn't matter whether the mayor was white, like Robin. Now we have an African-American black mayor. It doesn't seem to matter. What seems to matter is that we don't care. That we do not care. The administration of Lexington, Mississippi, just does not care about how they treat us, and how one of the findings was trying to rape black women. They found it. They recorded it. I'm talking about stuff as badly as this. How could you not say we're going to sign these findings, saying that this simply will not happen again in Lexington, Mississippi, the county seat of Holmes County. How can you? It doesn't matter whether or not you are black, white, brown, or yellow. How can you read those findings and then you say, well, I'm not going to do anything about it, although I am the mayor. I am the alderman, but we're just not going to deal with it. And then the people are being asked to be, we are asking you, the people of Lexington and Holmes County, we are asking you to be upset. It's not that Miss Zepp ought to be upset. Miss Zepp get upset about most stuff that's out of order. And I'm not afraid to say that upsets me. That upsets me. It could have been me that somebody had stopped at night. I'm out all times of night. That you gonna make me have sex with you. It could have been me. Could have been my granddaughter, my daughter. And you mean to tell me I'm just going to sit and say, oh, well? Thank you, hi, Lena Mae, Miss Mary. I don't get it. Why we are not so upset. So then, the answer to your question was, why were we calling for a selective buying campaign? Why were we? Why were we? That was your question. I was not able to answer that question when you asked me that. So I'm telling you now, the boycott, I think they want us to say selective buying campaign. I think they want us to say that instead of boycott, but same thing. It is still going on. We want you to know, and we want our one major food store, which is Sunflower Food Store. It's not like the food is all that great. Anyway, that's another show. And I won't stop saying that if I have to keep taking stuff back, even though, let me say this, even though you always tell me, Miss Zepp, just bring it back. Well, I live 7 miles away. I don't want to bring it back. I just want to get it home and I just want to cook it. I don't want to have to bring it back for you to make good. Put it out there good the first time. Because you know, Miss Zepp, if Miss Ann, and y'all know who Miss Ann is, if Miss Ann shopped in that store, you wouldn't have all of that whatever going on. So, nevertheless, you wanted to know why. So I'm telling you why. Then your next question was, how is it that 2 stores would get the city of Lexington to do the right thing? Well, we didn't think that 2 stores would actually do that. I'm sure the organizers of this boycott didn't think. What they thought was that maybe the stores, the 2 stores' name, would put the pressure, would go and meet with the mayor and the city council to let them know, Mayor, we don't want our name out there. Please, if these are findings, they are legitimate. The United States Department of Justice found them and recommended, just say we gonna get these findings and we gonna fix this mess. Just say it. We thought maybe if the people, the voters, did not respond, then we thought that maybe the stores, the Chamber of Commerce, would go to the mayor and say, we just need to do the right thing. And I will tell you, we have a new attorney, and he, in the midst of the meeting, says, we don't want to play with this. We want to get this done, get it over. If they have come up with these findings, if they have made recommendations for cleaning up these findings, let's go ahead and do it. And the mayor, our mayor, your mayor, said no. Not only did he say no with his mouth, he said no with his vote. And that is no. So the next thing, besides the boycott, because, you know, I always say there is nothing who can get the attention of the powers that be. Nothing except that dollar. Now you start talking about taking the dollar away, then you have their attention. And I just want to know that. So apparently the stores and the Chamber of Commerce and all those folk that's running this whole situation just did believe. They believe that most of us are in the Willie Lynch class, and that we would ignore such a call for a boycott. They already knew that. You see, they forgot about the 60s. You couldn't ignore us back in the 60s. If we said we were going to call for a boycott, I promise you, Big Mama and Big Daddy wasn't going in them stores, and they didn't. This is a different time. This is a different era, a different thought. You know what I'm saying? It was totally different. So the only other thing that's going on, the boycott, if you just don't have to go, don't go. You complain about it anyway. But the very next thing that's coming on, and that's what I'm going to tell you now. 2 things were happening at the same time. The boycott, and on the first meeting of the year of 2026. The first meeting is January the 6th, Tuesday, at 6:30 p.m. There will be a protest around the city, the city hall, the mayor's office, and the office of the alderman of the city of Lexington. So can we do that? On January the 6th, there is going to be a protest. We are going to do just what we did when we insisted that Joe Biden, Bennie Thompson, and all of them better get somebody down here in Lexington. We didn't stop saying it until DOJ made it here. We just didn't stop saying it. So let me say this. You all remember when we had that, what was it? That Miss Jet, my first, it was my first, we were on it every single day. And that was to clean up Holmes County, beginning with that old, y'all tell me what it was, we had to, I think I'm just getting old. I can't even remember. Sale bond. We had an old sale bond. And one of my clients almost lost his life at that old sale bond that had everything you can imagine. I said, I'm going to bring that sale bond up every time I open my mouth. The sale bond was coming up. And it actually took maybe a year and a half. I didn't care, but every time I opened my mouth, I called the owner of that sale bond, and I told him, if this was in Miss Ann's neighborhood, he would have cleaned that mess up. But we weren't Miss Ann. The sale bond is gone. Right now, we are saying to the administration of Lexington, Mississippi, the administration of Lexington, Mississippi, we gonna bring your name up every time we sit before this mic. You see this mic? Every time I said before this mic or any mic, we bringing up the fact that we asked United States Department of Justice to come. They came. They stayed over 2 years until they found stuff that would make Big Mama, I don't know what Big Mama would do. They found it. They gave it to us. Our former mayor, Mayor Robin McCrory, said no. I'm not going to accept it. So we got a new mayor. We voted in a new mayor. Our new mayor said it's going to be the very first thing I do. Then the new mayor Once he got in and somebody got his ear, I'm just gonna believe someone got his ear that didn't have it when he told us those, I'm just gonna say, non-truths. But we're not mad. I'm not angry. I'm Minister Miss Zepp. But I am going to do this year. What did I say?